Hey, this is Harshfield. Today I'm having a look at the Akuma patch notes for Season 5. And because Capcom stubbornly keeps referring to the moves with their official names, the patch notes might be a bit difficult to decipher at first. So I'm going over them, translating where necessary, and giving a bit of context why something was probably changed, and how it impacts Akuma in the coming season. So the first thing one needs to mention is that which is ominously absent from the patch notes. Akuma's health and stun did not get buffed. Now this is the same for the other top tier characters from Season 4, they also didn't receive any HP or stun buffs, but since a lot of characters did receive increases in health and stun, you'll find you have to work just a little bit harder to close around in Season 5. Forward throw got 3 extra recovery frames. Now, in Season 4, you could follow up a forward throw in the corner with some very strong pressure. After a forward dash, he was only -1. Or you could just walk forward and press buttons. Stand medium kick comes to mind. You had a lot of options for meaty buttons. Now, in Season 5, stand hard punch is still a meaty if you walk forward a bit, but in general his pressure after forward throw is a lot less scary now. Walking forward and sticking out a stand medium kick to catch buttons is still possible, but this too has become a bit risky. So, especially the dash after throw leaves him at -4 now, which means you really shouldn't do this anymore. Stand medium kick expanded the backwards hurtbox during recovery. Now this is a big nerf to Akuma. Stand medium kick is his main whiff punish button in neutral and is used in a lot of his frame traps and pressure strings as well. Stopping block strings halfway can and will be punished a lot more often now. Especially the whiff punishing game will be a lot more difficult now, and you will need truly excellent spacing and positioning. So standing hard punch expanded the forward hurtbox at the feet during recovery. So the hurtbox was a bit wonky before. You often couldn't really punish a standing hard punch on block with a crouching normal, like say for instance crouch medium kick. And this should make it a lot easier for opponents to consistently punish Akuma's stand hard punch. Crouching medium punch increased the pushback distance on block. Now this is big. Crouch medium punch is a button that is used in a lot of Akuma's combo starters and block strings, and the infamous crouch medium punch, stand medium punch, light red fireball was a great block string and some sort of like a multi-layer frame trap, but because of the increased pushback, this no longer works in Season 5. Sometimes you'll hear people say that, you know, it still works on crouching opponents, but it only sorta still works. While it technically works if they stay in crouch block the entire time, they can very easily micro walk back to get out of the block stun after the second crouch medium punch, and then, you know, whiff punish the stand medium punch during its recovery frames. So all in all, this is a very big change, and it's probably going to change a lot of his pressure strings in Season 5. Kongoken is the combo count. So this Kongoken is the stand hard punch target combo. And this is a nice little buff. This means basically that you get meterless follow-ups off of a crush counter stand hard punch target combo. That's obviously only in the corner. So in Season 4, if you hit the stand hard punch target combo and the first hit was a crush counter, that means that if you're in the corner you can follow up with an EXDP. In Season 5 you don't need to spend bar on it. Now you can also follow this up with a regular hard punch DP or with a hard kick Tatsu. If it doesn't crush counter, you still don't get any follow up, but okay, this is, you know, it's better than nothing. Yeah, it's a nice little buff. I'm happy about that. Sekiseiken is the forward hard punch. So 2 things changed here. That's firstly, they reduced the pushback on block, and then they added a projectile invincible hurtbox under the original hurtbox that appears from frame 8 to frame 28. Now, there's a couple of things at work here. First, let's look at this projectile invincible hurtbox. Forward hard punch has a pretty deceptive jump arc. It would make people react with an anti-air button and counter hit them. It hopped over a lot of projectiles, but also did the same for a bunch of normals. And this change is Capcom saying they only want Akuma to use this to jump over projectiles, making it a bit more of a tool for reads instead of a catch-all surprise motherfucker. They also reduced the pushback on block. forward hard punch is -2, so if people blocked it, it was no longer your turn. But degenerate Akuma players, they just pressed buttons after it anyway, often resulting in them winning and getting a counter hit because there was just enough pushback. Now this will no longer work, and you really will have to give up your turn if they block the forward hard punch now. However, the reduced pushback is actually a buff, because now it gives access to a true demon setup. And this doesn't work if you cancel the demon super early, but if you late cancel it after the forward hard punch, opponents, who know they can now always take their turn back, can no longer jump the demon on reaction. And this might actually be very good for Akuma. Tsugai Hasatsu is Akuma's overhead, and they changed the disadvantage on block from -6 to -7. Now this is more of a universal change, it doesn't really have to do anything with Akuma specifically, it's just that most overheads they got adjusted from being -6 to -7 on block to make blocked overheads easier to punish. Right, the light Sekia Goshoha reduced the pushback on block. That's a light red fireball, and this is huge. In Season 4, pressure strings that ended in light red fireball left just enough of a gap to, catch buttons or jump attempts if the opponent got impatient, but they had enough pushback on block if they kept blocking. As a result, it was a pretty brain-dead block string that was very difficult to punish, even though light red fireball is technically -6 on block. If you spaced it poorly, of course, you did get punished for it in Season 4. But the only thing you really needed to do was, add several normals in the block string when starting point blank. Like, for instance, a stand light punch, crouch medium punch, stand medium kick into light red fireball. Or just start your pressure strings from further out. Like stand medium kick into light red fireball in the neutral. Now, those were the good times, ladies and gentlemen, because this season almost every character can punish block strings that end in light red fireball, even at ranges where you would definitely save last season. Right, all of these different moves like Go Shoryuken, Tatsumaki, Hyakigozan, so on and so forth, they changed so that the amount of EX meter given to the opponents, yeah, this is just a normalization of general game mechanics. I, wouldn't worry about it too much. Then EX Hyakishu reduced the hitbox, expanded the hurtbox. This is the EX Demon Flip. So EX Demon Flip is and always will be a notoriously versatile move. Last season they nerfed the slide ender from being +2 on block to -2, and this season they're tackling the hit and hurtbox of the Demon Flip itself. You'll find it trades with a lot more of your opponent's moves this season. So yeah, it's a bit of a nerf. Then for the hard and EX Hyaki Gozen, that's the slide ender to the Demon Flip. Fixed a bug where he would not turn to face the opponent. Yeah, so if you Demon Flip over the opponent, the slide autocorrects and it tracks your opponent, but at least it was supposed to. Sometimes this didn't really work, but I do have to say it was a really rare bug. I think I had it happen like only a handful of times in Season 4, but it's still good that they patched it, so yeah, slide buff, thank you Capcom. Then Rakan Gosho, the V-skill, you can now cancel into V-trigger 2 exclusive special moves. Okay, I mean, it's V-trigger 2, nobody really uses it. I've seen pros experiment with it in certain matchups, for instance versus Zangief, or the elaborate chip setups versus Nakali, but yeah, it's V-trigger 2, let's move on. Right, Gosenkyaku, that's a V-reversal, added 8 frames of recovery on hit, and changed to blowback the opponent on hit. Now, I don't know if you've already tested the V-reversal, this season got changed quite a bit. If you use it defensively, it actually knocks back the opponent a lot further. It's almost full screen now. So you do have a lot more time to get out of the corner. Defensively, I think this actually might be a bit of a buff. Because, it still knocks down, by the way. But when using the V-reversal offensively, to keep an opponent trapped in the corner, the added 8 frames of recovery, they do hurt you quite a bit. If you dash up after the V-reversal, now you're only +2. And that means all that you really get is a meaty stand light punch, whereas like last season you could get up to a meaty crouch hard punch, which is a really big difference. So, this season you might just want to micro walk forward instead, press a button, something like that. So, offensively, is nerfed a little. Defensively, I think it might actually be a bit of a buff. But yeah, big changes to the V reversal. And then, the big daddy. Dohat Shoten changed so that it cannot be activated from cancelling Gohado and Sekia Goshoha on whiff. This is one of the biggest nerfs in these patch notes. This safe activation was simply too good. Akuma was super privileged in that his fireballs didn't actually need to connect with anything for him to be able to activate his V-trigger. None of the other fireball characters could do this, so it was just kind of unfair that he could. People have been asking for this for such a long time as well, so you know, it's good that it finally came through. I have to say the meme posts on Twitter about this change are an absolute delight. And I also have to admit that I've moved to full screen, you know, thrown a hard punch fireball, tried activating V-trigger, and then I realized I was a complete idiot because, you know, nothing's happening. And yeah, I've done that quite a few times in Season 5. You know, the activation was just too good. It was fun while it lasted, but we'll just have to rely on other activations from now on. Now, two that come to mind are stand hard punch into activate, or a block string like, say, stand light punch, grab medium punch, stand medium kick, light red fireball into activation. So yeah, those definitely do still work. But yeah, this is a big nerf for sure. And then this last one, Goshoryu reduced the EX meter gain from 40 to 20 for the first hit, but then increased it from 0 to 20 for the subsequent hits. This one's a bit weird. It's both a buff and a nerf. So Goshoryu in V-Trigger 1 has 4 hits, 2 upward moving and 2 downward moving hits. So while you do get more EX meter build in total, it impacts a very specific situation where you want to end a V-Trigger 1 combo in CA. So imagine the following situation, right? So you're almost at 3 EX bars, you activate the V-Trigger, you get a hit in, do full conversion ending in stand medium kick, light tatsu, V-Trigger fireballs, and you see, okay, I'm probably going to build just enough meter with the first hit for the DP to, you know, to cancel it into CA. In Season 4, you probably would have built that meter and got the max damage conversion. This season, you should still cancel into CA, but sometimes the meter gain will just not be enough, and you will get the V-Trigger DP and the hard knockdown instead. Don't get me wrong, that's still a very good situation for Akuma, but you might miss out on a couple of outright kills because of this. Okay, so how do we feel about the changes? There's no denying that most of these changes, they're nerfs, right? And Season 5 Akuma is definitely a bit worse for wear than Season 4 Akuma. A lot of the other characters in the cast got buffed, so that means he might no longer be top 3 character. I feel like a lot of the Akuma players are panicking about these changes. You know, they're saying that, you know, any one of these changes would have been fine on its own, but then the combination of all of them is too much. And, you know, while it comes from players who are definitely a lot better at the game than I am, for sure, I realize that, I still think people are overreacting a bit. I feel like it's almost impossible to make Akuma bad or even not good in this game, and the reason he is so strong is the versatility of his toolkit. As long as they don't go into his kit and delete a few of his moves, he will always be good. No matter what the situation, he can often come up with an answer that leads into a lot of damage or Oki or both. His V-Skill 1 parry is a perfect example of that. It gives him a way of dealing with certain moves that very few other characters can, allowing him to convert into either big damage combo or a launcher with Demon Flip Palm and then great Oki afterwards. Akuma is still Akuma. He's a very technical character, he's a true glass cannon, and he's still immensely satisfying to play. Yeah, by the way, in all of this, I haven't really mentioned V-Skill 2 a single time. Now, I just need some more time with it before making up my mind about the V-Skill. But my first impression, however, is that it looks pretty, but I see very little reason to take it over V-Skill 1. Alright, I hope this helped you make sense of the Season 5 patch notes. What do you think of the changes? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, have a good one.